record. This session is being recorded, and it will be posted on the Canvas webpage if you missed something or you need to review something. If you have a question, feel free to raise your hand, and then after I have addressed that question, you can lower your hand just by pressing that button again. If you are wanting to post something in the chat, you will just click that. The chat will come up and you can type away whatever it is that you're wanting to say and then press enter to send it. If you're wanting to see who your fellow classmates are, you can just click the show participants section, and when you're done with the class, you can hit hang up. That is fine. Just be aware that when I'm presenting in a presentation, if you're posting a question in the chat, I can't see it until I get out of the presentation. So if you have a question while I'm presenting, just unmute and ask it so that I can answer it right then and there, instead of a few minutes later when I get out of the presentation. And there's not that many of us in here. I don't think we'll have an issue if we unmute and ask a question. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go to this little presentation for an opener. We just covered how to use Teams. Does anyone have a question on how to use Teams? No? Okay. Classroom expectations, please be on time. When you enter the team session, go ahead and turn your mic off, just because if every one of us has our mics on, we will end up with a very loud screeching noise and a lot of feedback. Try and have your videos on if you can, especially you early college, high school kids. You guys are supposed to have your videos on just for attendance purposes. Try and get rid of any distractions you might have, which I know if you're at home with kids, that can be a little difficult, and I understand that. And be alert and ready to learn. So to start off today, we're going to do a little icebreaker and self-introduction for the class. And that self-introduction is going to be based around the idea of culture and how it has affected us and shaped us into who we are today. So another word that we can use for culture is our background, or things that have influenced us. Also things that are important to us. So what we're going to do to help us better understand each other is we're going to create some culture bubble diagrams. And I'm going to go through how to do that in a second. Culture is going to come up a lot in this class, especially when we're talking about art pieces. And our cultural background is going to influence how we ourselves view that artwork, and possibly influence whether or not we like it or dislike it. So a cultural bubble diagram is pretty simple. You can do this on the computer. You can do it on a scratch sheet of paper. What we're going to actually be sharing with each other is just what we put in the bubbles, so it doesn't have to look nice or neat or anything. But in the center is you, because this is your cultural diagram. And around you are things that have influenced you or have made you what you are today. So things that are important to me are art, history, and traveling. And those two topics have definitely shaped me and who I am today. For example, because I love art history, I'm now teaching an art appreciation course. And the different branches of art history that I love the most are Art Nouveau and contemporary art, which if you don't know what those are, that's fine. We'll be learning that this year. Other things that have influenced me are travel. I met a majority of my friends traveling, my best friends traveling. I lived in London for several years, and London's very dear to me now, and it's helped shape who I am today. And I did that through travel. Religion is usually extremely important as far as our cultural background, whether you have religion or not. Not having religion is also extremely important in shaping who you are. Your particular religions that you are tend to influence how you view things in the world. Family and how closely connected or unclosely connected you are to them are really important. So I'm really close to my parents and siblings, and I have a cat, but I'm not really close to my cousins because they live like 2,000 miles away. Your family's background. So if I move this, you can see that my family's background is a middle class white collar family. Um, my parents didn't really, well, my dad went to college, but my mom did never go to college. She didn't even graduate high school. So that can influence who we are as a person and how we view things in the world. And where we are from originally can really influence how we grow up and how we view the world. So I'm not from Texas, so I don't really relate to a lot of the things that people in Texas and who grew up in Texas have experienced. So what you guys are going to do, once again, you can do it on paper or you can do it on a computer. You're going to make your own cultural makeup. And I'm going to give you guys, until 9:52 to do that. Anyone have a question on how to do that? Poor Lovette, you're like my main screen. Everyone sees you. At least you look nice. You have 2 more minutes. 1 more minute. Okay, so what we're going to do next is called a stop, think, and share. And it's pretty simple. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the chat function, which remember is the one that looks like a little bubble at the bottom on your toolbar. You're going to click that, and you are going to type some of the things that you wrote in your bubble diagram, and then you're going to wait to push send until I say to send it. So stop, think, and then you'll share when I say share.
Quick question.
Yes.
It's not letting me type anything because it says that chat in channel meetings is only available to team members.
Right. That's because I had to add you through the email and I haven't actually added you to the team yet.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're good.
Easily done.
You're good.
So I'll probably just ask you to say yours verbally towards the end.
Okay. It's the same for me too.
Okay, thank you, Haley, for letting me know that.
Mine's doing that too.
I think you guys are all early college kids, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, ma'am.
Who added all of you guys in as guests, and I have to go contact them about that.
I didn't mean to send that.
It's fine. This is the practice round, so it's fine. For those of you that can type, I'll give you a few more seconds to say what you want to say, and then we'll share. Okay, if you want to go ahead and share, you can. Seems like most of you are ready to share. So it's Tyler, right? I can't see your full name, that's why I'm asking.
Trinity.
Trinity? Okay, I couldn't remember. I had in my last section, I had a Tyler Rodriguez, so now I'm like, Trinity says, you're from Hawaii? That's awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. And you're here for an engineering degree, subsea engineering specifically. Yeah. I feel like our degrees really shape us and how we think. And it really tells our interests. So let's see. Haley, what's a couple of things that you wrote on your bubble?
I wrote family, parents, and siblings. My brother actually lives in California.
Wow, that's far away.
Mm-hmm.
Is he older?
No, he's my younger brother. He's
Okay.
gonna turn 6 in November.
Oh, yeah. I was asking because my older brothers live in Indiana, so It's
And
like
then,
far away from your sibling.
and then moving, I moved around a lot, and then I ended up here. I've always loved Texas.
Yeah, that's good.
Mm.
Got a couple more in the chat. Jason says parents, siblings, cousins, Texas, his hometown, and good food. Yeah, food can really shape who we are. Surprisingly, the smallest things can shape who we are, though. Let's see. Lavette says, Marfa, you're lucky. I want to go to Marfa so bad again. I haven't gone since I was younger. Raised in New Mexico. I love New Mexico. Nursing. You love to help people. That's awesome. Good. Yeah. Health major, dietetics. Yeah. Hobbies. What are your hobbies? Kyra?
I do like a lot of arts and crafts. Like I did painting this weekend, and like I made a lamp out of like an old glass bottle, stuff like that.
Do you have it? Can we see it?
Yeah. I don't know if y'all know what kombucha is, but I had this big kombucha bottle. I made it into a lamp yesterday.
That's cool.
Pretty easy. It's neat.
Recycle, repurpose things. Yes, good. That's awesome. So things like that are important to understand because it tells me that Kyra is probably going to enjoy learning more about the different mediums and how to make stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas me, I like history, so I prefer the historical side of art more. So it's going to shape which sections we like more and how we specifically view the artwork, because Kyra is going to be looking at how it's made and I'm going to be looking about why it's made. So this is important to understand about each other. Let's ask one more person. Ricardo, what's something that you wrote on your cultural diagram?
Well, it wouldn't let me type, so I'm just gonna say it. Childhood homes and home was Fort Worth, Texas, Mexico, and Oklahoma.
Yeah. And how do you think living in all those different places has shaped who you are today?
Well, I'm kind of more used to different places. Like I've seen pretty wet and then pretty dry and then kind of in the middle.
So you're good at adapting.
Yes.
Yes. Very good. Thank you for sharing. Okay, and once again, it's really important for us to understand our culture so that we can, number one, relate to each other. We're so far apart, and maybe you found someone that has similar interests to you in this course or is from the same area. And it's going to tell us how we're going to view the artwork as well. So next we're going to go into, and we're going to be going back into culture in a second after we go over the syllabus. This is just a brief overview of the syllabus. There's a whole lot more to it, but I pulled out some of the more important parts. If you want to view the entire syllabus, it's located under the announcements. It's also located under the syllabus page in your Canvas. And of course, this particular little session is being recorded and will be posted on Canvas too if you just want to go in and look at it later. So first off, a brief course description. Art appreciation is a general introduction to the visual arts designed to create an appreciation of the vocabulary, media, techniques, and purposes of the creative process. Students will critically interpret and evaluate works of art within formal, cultural, and historical contexts, and will weigh the importance of art in their choices and values in everyday life. So the gist of that is that by the end of this course, you should be able to look at an artwork, evaluate it and interpret it, understand why it was made historically, how it relates to culture, and the formal background that was put into making it. You'll also understand the importance of particular artworks as well, and how those artworks impact everyday life. The book that you're going to want to get for this art course is Preble's Art Forms, the 11th edition. There is a 12th edition out now. I'm not sure how much it differs from this one. Probably not too much. So if you end up accidentally getting the 12th one, you should be fine. The 11th one is located at the bookstore, and it also, I'm pretty sure there is a online edition. So if you want to keep it electronically, that's fine too. But you are going to want to get that book because I do pull some quiz and exam questions specifically from the readings that you're supposed to do. Of course, as with any course that you're taking here at Midland College, please do not plagiarize. Every assignment that you do goes through a system called Turnitin, which checks for plagiarism. Inevitably, every time I teach this course, someone tries to plagiarize something and they get caught every time because it goes through that system. So please, if you're going to quote something, cite that source. If you don't know how to cite a source, go to the writing lab or email me and I can teach you how to do that, or the writing lab can teach you how to do that so that you don't get caught up in an issue with plagiarism. Because usually it's people that are quoting something that didn't use quotation marks and didn't cite their source. So basically they were copying it. It's what it looks like on my end when I read it. How things are weighted in this class. You do have quizzes, quite a few of them towards the beginning. Quizzes are weighted at 40%. Once again, the quiz questions come from both the lectures and the reading. They're really short quizzes. They're only 10 questions. 5 questions are multiple choice, and 5 questions are short essays. You'll also have several discussion posts in this class. Those are weighted at 15%. They aren't so much like answer this question and then give feedback on 2 other people's. You don't have to like respond to other people's. I just want your discussion post, which all of those will be broken down in the instructions for the discussions. You also have a couple of major grades in the form of essays. Essays are weighted at 35%. So you're going to have a group project that falls under the essay category. And you're also going to have a gallery review, which is considered an essay. So those are your 2 35% weighted grades. Both of those should be available to view as far as instructions on Canvas by the end of the day today. And then your final grade is your final exam at 10%. How to pass this class, it's pretty simple. Communicate with me. If you have questions, concerns, email me, come to the office, let me know. Let me know if you're having any issues or questions. Also communicate in class in the form of participating with the class. A lot of you guys are doing a really good job of that already today, of being vocal and letting me know things, which I appreciate greatly. Cooperate. And by cooperate, I mean, please read the chapters before the class and take the exams and participate in the discussions, do your work basically, and do them by the due date listed. And lastly, commit. Become familiar with the class schedule. This class schedule is pretty simple to remember. It's every day except for Friday at the same time. Plan your time accordingly to come to class. and expect to get from this class what you put into it. So if you're not putting in very much effort into this course, don't expect to get much out of it. And most likely your grade will reflect how much effort you're putting in as well. Are there any questions so far before I go on? None? Okay. So I'm going to go on to what we'll be doing every single week. Once again, this is located in the syllabus, which is under announcements. It's also under your module settings. So for this week, August 24th through the 27th, we are going to be doing course introductions, and we're going to be going over chapters 1 through 4 in the book. On Thursday morning, a quiz is going to open up, one of those 10-question quizzes. And that quiz will be open for you until Friday at midnight. That's how pretty much everything's going to go. Next week, we're going to go through chapters 5 through 8. And then you're going to have a quiz. And then the next week, it's going to be 9 through 12 and a quiz. When we go over chapter 5, that same day, I will be going over your censorship presentations so that you guys can go ahead and start working on those, because chapter 5 is all about censorship. So that's why I do it at the same time. However, if you're interested in learning what that particular project is going to be about, you can go ahead and look at those instructions. They should be available. If not, I will make sure they are. You do have several online discussions later on in the course, such as the one on September 24th. Discussions will be open for the full week just because they take a little bit longer than the quizzes. And your other major grade is your gallery review, which is due October 9th. The instructions for that should be available. I'll be talking more about the gallery review whenever the art gallery at the Allison Fine Arts building is open with their new show. We're currently setting it up right now. Yes, for those of you that didn't know, there is an art gallery here on campus, and it will be very useful to you whenever you have to do a gallery review. And of course, your last assignment for this class is your final exam. It is not a cumulative exam, which is good, probably for most of you guys. I always hated cumulative exams when I was in college. Your final exam is only over chapters 21 through 25, both the readings and the lectures. Any questions about this particular slide?
We have to turn this all in through Canvas, right?
Yes. So everything is going to be turned in through Canvas. We are not allowed to take paper anything anymore. If you're having issues turning something in, you can email me, text me, call me, which I'll go over how to do that in a second and how to reach me. And I'll try and work with you on it. I haven't had any issues with people turning it in through Canvas in the past, so I don't think we'll have any now. But if we do, we can figure out some sort of a solution. If you have to email it to me or something later, that's fine. Any other questions? Okay, moving on then. Students will be evaluated based on their level of involvement with the course. Like I mentioned earlier, the amount of effort that you put into the course will probably show in your grade. This includes attendance, participation, and completion of assignments by their due dates. Written assignments will be graded based on the level of prose, use of proper grammar, and attention to the assignment's requirements. So if you're someone that struggles with writing, I'm going to highly, highly, highly recommend you make an appointment with the writing lab on that gallery review paper, just because if I can't understand what exactly you're trying to convey in your paper, it's probably not going to be a good grade. Also, there's going to be a day on that gallery review paper that if you have questions, there's literally going to be an entire class period dedicated to you asking them, which I'll go over that when we get closer to that date. Group projects will be evaluated based on level of group participation, attention to assignment requirements, and levels of topic understanding. With Midland College in an art appreciation course, you guys are required to complete at least one group project. So that is our one. Last time I had to do it online, we did it through Google Slides, and I just went ahead and made groups and made a slides page for everyone to work on, and it seemed to work perfectly fine. Just know that it's one of those assignments where you guys grade each other based on your level of effort. So if you're leaving all of the work to one person, that one person is probably not going to grade you very well. And of course, the final exam for this course is once again not cumulative. However, it will be based on materials covered in lectures and readings over chapters 21 through 25. Any questions on how you're going to be evaluated? Okay. Attendance in this IVC class. So early college, high school, and dual credit students are required to show themselves on camera at least once and turn in that day's class time tasks to be counted present. So basically how it's going to go is I'm going to check attendance at the beginning of the class, and I'm going to check attendance at the end of the class. And also we're going to have several activities that you're going to need to participate in throughout the class. For example, we're about to do a Kahoot. So that will be your day's task for today, is to participate in that Kahoot. Of course, important information is how you can reach me. So once again, my name is Amy McBride. You can call me Miss McBride, Professor McBride, Amy. I don't really care what you call me. I'm not particular about it. My email is amcbride@midland.edu. Most of you have figured that out already, which is good. My office location is in the Allison Fine Arts Building, which is great for you early college, high school students, since it's right on the opposite side of your wing. My office number is 195. That's where it gets a little tricky, because if you go to room 195, it says it's a photography studio. My office is inside of that photography studio, so you're going to have to come inside the classroom. I promise I will be here, though. My office phone number is 432-685-4654. I will answer that during my office hours and during a regular working day, which is 8 to 5. If you call at like 7 p.m., I will not answer my office phone because I will not be here. If you have an emergency, such as you are not able to get into the Teams meeting and classes started, or if you are like not able to hear me on Teams, or if there's something happening that's an emergency and you must let me know that second, text me. My cell phone is 432-923-2880. Now, if it's a Saturday and you're confused on like whether or not we're going over chapter 7 in class on Monday, then don't. That's not an emergency. Email me at that point. You guys are smart. You can determine what's an emergency and needs to be told to me at that second and what's not. Now, office hours. I do have office hours every single day of the week at one point in time throughout that day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I have hours from 11 to noon. So right after this class, I am at my office. Monday and Tuesday, I have hours from 2 to 4. And Friday, I'm here from 8 to 10 in my office. If you don't feel comfortable coming up to the building or coming to the office, then email me or text me or something, or call the office, and I will send you a Teams meeting link and we can meet virtually to discuss your questions or concerns. Any questions about how to reach me? Okay. So, like I promised, our little activity for today is our Kahoot. The Kahoot is over some basic art knowledge, as well as some syllabus questions, just to clear up any possible misconceptions about the syllabus, if we have any. So if you are one of my early college, high school kids, I'm sure you know how to play a Kahoot. If you are not, then you need to go to kahoot.it, and the game pin is 988710. Yay, Haley's already here. Derek's here. Jesse's here. Faith. Awesome. You guys are moving a lot faster than the morning class. I guess everyone's awake now. Give me a second. Okay, everyone is on. There we go. Everyone good? Okay. Some of you fell for the trick. You do, in fact, probably want to buy a textbook, just because clearly, since you're taking the quizzes on Canvas, they're going to be open book. So you might want the textbook just for that. Also, I pull several of the quiz and final exam questions from the textbook, so you might want it. Some of you fell for that one too. So our primary colors are red, blue, and yellow. Green is a secondary color made from combining blue and yellow. Yay, no one missed that one. Yeah, so it's right as you walk in the door to the Allison Fine Arts Building. You will see a bunch of art on pedestals right now, and that is the art gallery. The show is technically not open yet, but it will be. And this first show this year is going to be a show of a lot of professors' artworks from both UTVB, OC, and Midland College. Yes, so your first quiz opens Thursday, like 12:01 a.m. and it closes Friday night at midnight. If that time doesn't work for you, or if you need like a longer window, let me know, like today or tomorrow, because I can fix that. Oh yeah, it's Mona Lisa. Spelling, man, spelling. Good. That makes me happier because the morning session says they can call me anytime. Please don't call me at 2 a.m. unless it's an emergency. Yes, if you do all of those 3 things, you should pass the class. You just have to show up to the class, do the assignments, and turn them in on time, and you should be fine. This one's a trickier one. Oh, you guys did better than the first one. Good job. Yeah, so the Taj Mahal was built by a sultan for his favorite wife when she died. Very good. That was fast. Good job, guys. Yes, you do need to attend the Teams meetings, especially if you're my early college people. This one's trickier too. Yeah, so this one's tricky because it looks like it was made during the classical Greek era, but it's actually made by Michelangelo during the Renaissance era. That one's tricky, mostly because Renaissance art is just a rebirth of Greek art. So yeah, if you didn't know that, that's totally understandable. Yeah, I have office hours every single day, so there's no excuse. Like I said, if you can't come up here or you don't want to come up here, just email me ahead of time and I can send you a Teams link and we can meet via Teams. Yes. Every single person that is on our meeting today has the same ability to pass this class. Good job, Jesse and Trinity. And our winner is Levette. Awesome. Good job. So that was just a fun little activity to make this a little bit more interactive and less like a virtual meeting. Once again, are there any questions before we move on about the syllabus at all, or about anything else that we've talked about so far? Everyone's good? Okay. So the last interactive activity that we're doing today is going to be our introduction activity into chapter 1. Before I start a new chapter, I like to do a little bit of an opening thought process to get us thinking about that topic before we start it. So the topic of chapter 1 is all based around the idea of what is art specifically. So we are going to be doing something called a Padlet. Raise your hand on here using your little toolbar at the bottom if you've ever done a Padlet before. Haley has, Jonas has, Derek, awesome. Jason has. Good, so quite a few. Thank you. So how we're going to do this Padlet is in a second, I'm going to put a QR code up on the screen. What you're going to do is you're going to get your phone. You're going to go to your camera. And if you hold your camera up in front of that QR code, it's going to pick it up. And you're going to have a little thing pop up at the top of your screen asking you if you want to go to that link, and you're going to click it. And then you'll be directed to the Padlet, which has a few questions for you to answer and work on. Go ahead and share that. Okay. So once again, here's that QR code. Try and get my toolbar to go away. If you hold your phone's camera in front of it, you're going to have a little thing pop up at the top of your camera screen that says openpadlet.com, and you're going to click on it, and it's going to take you to the Padlet. And that Padlet has different questions, such as the first question, which says, what is art? To answer that question, you just have to hit the plus sign and start typing. All of your answers are completely anonymous. So if you are like me and you don't like to answer questions in like new settings, no one's going to know who you are, so you'll be fine.
It does not work for mine.
Hang on, let me see.
It's not working for me either. Okay.
So you went to your phone's camera. Okay. Let me see if I can do this really fast. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. Some of you guys are already typing, which is good. I'm just going to post the link in the chat. Okay, if you click on that link in the chat, you should be able to go. And you can do it on your computer instead of your phone if you prefer.
I can't see chat.
Okay. Can you do the QR code then instead, Derek? If I pull it back up?
I'll chat.
Did that work, Derek?
Yes, it did.
Awesome. Okay. So just a reminder, there's a link in the chat if you missed out on the QR code. So there's a bunch of different questions in the Padlet that you guys can be answering right now. Some of you have already figured out how to add pictures. You're star students. Great. There's also a function on the Padlet to like someone's response. So if you really agree with it, you can click the heart. So over here in the What is Art section, we have art is a visual representation of the way people may feel or express themselves. Good. So if I like that, I'm just going to hit the heart. It's how various artists express themselves, ideas, passions, and values. Good. Expression. I like this one. Art can be something that can be ugly and beautiful at the same time. That's good. Expression of human creativity. I like that one. Yes, someone found the exact definition, which was what I was hoping for on the second question, which is what is art according to your textbook? The exact definition is that a work of art is the visual expression of an idea or experience formed with skill through the use of a medium. That is the exact definition. Very good. Then we got a lot of pictures. Oh, someone found Gustav Klimt's The Kiss. Very good. And what is an example of art that you experience every day? Yeah, I agree. Architecture, the sky, buildings, yeah. Give you guys a little bit more time to answer those if you're still adding on. This one's in our textbook. I like this. Awesome. Oh, yeah. Street buildings. Mm-hmm. We got really good answers in this class. You guys are officially my overachieving class. I appreciate that. Yes, cars. Can advertisements be a form of art? No comment. See, some of you guys are still typing. Okay, now I'm going to cold call some people. What that means is I'm going to be asking a question and then I'll call someone to answer it. So I want someone to tell me specifically what some examples are of art that they see every day. So examples of art they see every day. And let's ask Jason. Jason, can you unmute and tell me some examples of art that you see every day?
Hold on, I'm trying to find. Like the way people dress, or like when people do DIY crafts.
Uh-huh.
Cool. Or like the Last Supper painting.
Yeah, those are all really good examples. Faith, what are some more examples of art?
Like the way people do their makeup.
Uh-huh.
And I guess like how different people can do like different colors to their hair or do something like different with their hair.
Yeah, for sure. So makeup and hair, yeah, definitely. Is dancing or music a form of art, Faith?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see, Jessica, do you think that design, specifically graphic design, is an art form?
I'd say so, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where do we see things like graphic design? Do you know?
First thing that comes to my mind is kind of like logos for different companies.
Awesome. So logos, commercials, all of those things are forms of graphic design. Fun fact, most people that go to art school end up becoming graphic designers just because it pays the bills. So moving on. The reason why we did that whole Padlet and I spent so much time on it is because chapter 1, once again, goes into discussing and answering the question of what is art. Oops, forgot to share. So once again, this lecture is going to be up online, and this particular PowerPoint presentation is also online. So if you miss something or if I'm going too fast for you to take notes, it's going to be available for you to go back through if you want to. And if I am talking too fast or you don't understand something, feel free to unmute and let me know and ask your question. So every single lecture starts with some learning objectives. These I don't like to spend too much time on, but generally by the end of this particular lecture, you should be able to answer these questions if you put them in question format. So for example, learning objective 1.1 says describe art as a means of visual expression using different media and forms. You could change it to the question of, can I describe art as a means of visual expression using different media forms? And then if you can answer that question, then chances are you can probably do it. That's how I usually use learning objectives for myself when I'm a student. Important vocabulary terms are down here. So throughout Chapter 1, we're going to be learning vocabulary words like medium and media and mixed media, as well as representational, abstract, non-representational, and iconography. So if you're wanting to focus more on vocabulary, then you might want to jot down those words. But of course, they're going to be in bold as we go through this presentation too. So just an introduction to Chapter 1's lecture. So the ability to create is art. art is a special characteristic and a common experience held between humans. So what I mean is that humans have the very, very special ability, the superpower of being able to create things. In this particular sense, we're referring to art. So you don't see cats or dogs creating art. That is a human special power. That's one of the things that separates us. The very, very first artwork that we're going to be looking at in this class is Janet Eckelman's Her Secret is Patience. This is a very large, distinctive public artwork in Phoenix, Arizona. A public artwork means that it is in a public space and it was paid for using people's tax dollars. So keep that in mind as we're going to look at this particular artwork. Her Secret is Patience is inspired by a saguaro cactus. Once again, it's located in Phoenix. And keep in mind that artistic creation is a two-way street. What I mean by that is that going back to the idea of culture that we talked about at the beginning, people see things and experience things differently. So the way that Livette and Kyra and Jason may view a cactus could all be different. We see things differently as people. We experience things differently as people. It's one of the amazing things about humans. So the way that Janet views a cactus and decides to illustrate it artistically will be different from the way that I might do it. So it's important to keep that in mind throughout the course as we go through it. So next we're going to look at a picture of Her Secret is Patience in the daytime. This is what it looks like during the day. Now I'm going to cold call someone to let me know what they think of it. By the way, in this class, there are no wrong opinions. There are going to be artworks even that I don't like, and that's fine. Sometimes I like things, sometimes I don't. We're people, that's how we are. So if I cold call you and you think this is disgusting and ugly and stupid, that's fine. Tell me, but also tell me why you think that. If you think it's the most gorgeous thing you've ever seen, that's fine, but tell me why. So the person that I'm going to cold call to tell me what they think of this is going to be Derek. So Derek, can you unmute and tell me what you think of this? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Why?
I don't know. I guess I kind of like it. It looks like one of those things that you would use to blow bubbles, and
Yeah, it
a
does.
huge bubble coming out of it.
Yeah. I didn't think of that before. That's the first time anyone said that. That does look like it, though. Let's see. So this is what it looks like during the daytime. Once again, this is paid for with public tax dollars. Can anyone now unmute and tell me if you think the public was happy to pay for this with their tax dollars or upset?
Definitely not.
You're right. Why would they not be happy?
Personally, I wouldn't be happy if my tax dollars were going to something like basic, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, no. Most of the people in Phoenix, Arizona were very angry about this. But then they saw it at nighttime. So this is what Her Secret is Patience looks like at night. So this is a very large 100-foot by 100-foot sculpture that does light up at night. The color scheme is meant to represent the desert sunset. Now, someone else unmute and tell me if their opinions have changed at all.
Definitely, yeah.
Why?
I don't think so.
Because the color makes it turn into something different than what you originally saw during the daytime.
Yeah, I totally agree. I saw this one at day because I went to Phoenix last year and I went specifically hunting for this piece. During the daytime, it sucks to look at. It just looks like a bunch of wires just randomly hung in the sky. And the park that it sits in is not a very reputable park. It's full of homeless people, and there's a lot of crime in that area. But then at nighttime, it turns into something beautiful. Do any of you think that this looks like a cactus?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. It just doesn't. What kind of cactus?
Saguaro cactus, remember?
Oh, okay. No, I don't.
I agree with you. I don't think it looks like a cactus to me. But once again, as we go through this course, it's really important to keep in mind that different people see things different ways and like to illustrate things differently. But yeah, no, I totally agree. I think it's pretty at night. During the day, I think it's ugly. Yeah, opinions are opinions, and we're all entitled to them as human beings. And that is just to reiterate that this class, we're going to all have opinions, and that's completely acceptable. And please voice your opinions, because that helps me as an educator learn from you guys. So that's actually where we're going to stop for today. I'm going to do attendance really fast again, just to make sure and see if anyone us late or not. And I'm also going to stick around for a few minutes for anyone that might have questions. So I see, let me see. Jason is here. Yes. Derek's here. Faith's here. Haley's here. Jessica is here. Yes, yes. The only one I don't see still is Leslie. Did Leslie ever join us and I just missed her? Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for coming today. I appreciated all of your participation and input throughout today's lesson. You're free to go. I'm going to stick around for a few minutes to answer any questions if anyone has any. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This class was supposed